And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday Night Wine stream and another exciting adventure on Drink with Rick. I'm Rick. Tonight we're going to open a wine from Oregon. A wine from Oregon. This should be a very interesting wine to try. I've heard some pretty good things about it, mostly from the people who sold it to me. So I don't know if they were really being honest about it or if they were just trying to sell me a bottle of wine, but we'll find out. That's what the show is all about. Look, if you're joining me for the first time, or even for the 128th time, because this is the 128th episode of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine stream. This is Drink with Rick. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show, and I do have my show notes, as I always do. They're right here, as I always show them to you. Just to prove I have show notes, I do have them. But I don't always follow them verbatim. Sometimes I don't follow them much at all, because you see, this show is not about me, and I know I say that all the time, and yes, I do talk about some things about me. I tell you some stories about my past and things like that, but it's really more for entertainment value than anything else, because the show isn't really about me at all. This show is somewhat about the wine, a little bit about the wine, because we do the wine review, but the show is mostly about you and me, us, getting together on a Saturday night, just kicking back, relaxing, and having a good time with our favorite libations, our favorite snacks, and just shooting the breeze, so to speak. And that's what this show is really about. Just bringing people together from all walks of life. From all walks of life. I haven't had any wine yet, folks. From all walks of life, no matter where you come from and where you've been. This is a show about bringing people together and just having a good time. That's all. Tell me about you. Get in the chats. We've got the live chats going tonight. Tell me how you're doing. And I want to know about what you're up to and how you're doing and how life is treating you. Let's chat. Let's talk. Okay? We are available. The live chats are on our Facebook page at Drink with Rick. The Facebook page is Drink with Rick. If you can't get to that, you can, of course, watch on YouTube, and there's a live chat going on YouTube. Also on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, as many people are, a lot aren't, but many people are, Twitch is a popular place to go these days. And not just for gamers either. If you're on Twitch, the chat in Twitch is wide open, and you can call, you can talk to me there, chat with me there, and I'll be happy to chat right back, or actually talk to you here on the show. Also on Twitter, you can tweet me, and the tweet of this show is live on Twitter. It's at Twitter is Drink with Rick, and Twitch, I forgot to mention, is Drink with Rick 1. It's all one word, Drink with Rick, and the number 1, not 1 spelled out, but the number 1. And that's how you can reach me there. Also on the website, you can go directly to the website at drinkwithrick.com right here. Okay, drinkwithrick.com. Now, I don't have a live chat going there right now. Working on it, as I have been for a while. We'll see if we can get one up here eventually. But you can go there to watch the show. And if you click on that post for this live stream tonight, you can find a comment box down below. Type in some comments, and I will respond in kind. When I get the comments, I will return them. I will answer them, and I will answer them on the show as well. Please be kind. Please be nice. But you can really comment about the show itself. Give me your recommendations for wines. Give me your recommendations for the show and what you'd like to see on the show. What you think it's worth covering in the future. Things like that. Of course, if you are a winemaker, you can send me a bottle of wine, and I will be happy to give it a fair and an honest review. And you don't have to be a winemaker. If you're anybody that just wants to recommend a bottle of wine, and if it's within my budget, I'll see if I can go out and get a bottle, and I'll give it a fair review. Also, we've done that many times on the show. I've reviewed a few bottles I've received from places that I've reviewed on the show and from individuals. So, it's been a lot of fun reviewing them. I always enjoy trying something new, and that's what this is about. Also, the podcast version of this show, if you can't watch now or watch later, you can listen to the podcast. A lot of people do some multitasking. You can listen to the podcast. It goes out Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern. Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And if you go to drinkwithrick.com, you can subscribe via Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, your favorite Android device, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon Music, podcastindex.org, and by email. If you click on the email button, you put your email address in there, you will get the latest episode of the show as soon as it drops, as soon as it comes down. And no salesman will call, okay? And you can unsubscribe at any time, but please don't. Please stay subscribed. The email address that you put in there is just for getting the show. That's all. I don't do anything else with that email address than that, okay? But anyway, that's where we are. So you have a myriad of ways to watch and listen. So why not? And the CM Cinder's in the chat. CM Cinder says, howdy do, and howdy do right back at you, CM Cinder. Glad you're doing well. And that Square Guy's in the chat. It's great to see you, that Square Guy. Says, I'm not sure I can be kind, Rick. Well, you are. I know you are kind. And that Square Guy, of course, is that Square Guy and Darcy. They do their streams. In fact, I was watching one of their streams last night. They do Lego videos. They put together Lego kits, and they do some baking videos, and they do some gaming videos. And I am honored to be part of the Square Group. Honored to be part of the Square Group. I want to talk to you in a minute, Square Guy. I want to ask you a couple of questions there. Maybe one of these days we've got to have you on the show, and you can talk about your stream. Now, Square Guy is a great Twitch streamer. When you're multi-streaming on multiple platforms, sometimes you get them all mixed up. It's Twitch, the streamer. He's a very prolific Twitch streamer, and he's very good at what he does. He's done some really fantastic streams, and I've always enjoyed being a part of them. And that Square Guy says Square Group, the Square Gang. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, it's Saturday night, and it's been an interesting day. Yeah, it's that Square Guy. It's that Square Gang. Sorry about that. That Square Guy. You go join him at that Square Guy and join that Square Gang. And he also has a Discord. You can join that also, and I'm part of that as well. And be part of the Square Guy. The Square Gang. I need some wine. That Square Gang. Okay. I got a lot of post editing to do, don't I? I don't really edit that much on these things. Even the podcast, I let a lot of this stuff slide. I really do. It adds some spice to the show. It adds a little flavor to it, doesn't it? That Square Guy says, you're too kind, Rick. It's fine. He says it's fine. It's all good. Who else is in here? I almost missed... Bex is in the show. Bex, is great to see you. He says, hey, Rick, how's your night going? Well, as you can see so far, it's been a little bit of a tongue twister for me. I'm hoping that will clear up once I open this bottle of wine next to me. And I'll show you in just a moment what we have to open. And we're going to have some fun, too. We're going to have some fun. We do have some birthdays, toasts, anniversaries. And if you are having a birthday or an anniversary, feel free to put it in the chat, and I will be happy. I will be delighted to toast it. We can all toast it together on Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. Let me check some of the other chats here. Wrong mouse. Let me check Facebook. Ed's in the chat. My good friend Ed Anthony. Ed says, Ed here. And Ed, I'm really glad you're here. It's great to see you. Rick here, more or less. We'll see how things progress as the show moves forward. Hopefully we'll move forward. She, my lovely wife, Chi, is in the chat. She says hello. Oh, I've got to show you what she's prepared for us tonight to pair with this wine, because it is great. It's absolutely fabulous. Okay, let me check the other chats here. Anything going on YouTube? Kind of quiet on YouTube at the moment, and on Twitter, I think a little bit quiet on Twitter, but we're there for the notifications. If you want to tweet me, feel free to do so on Twitter. And let's see. Get back to here, what's going on here? CM Center says, would a gang of squares be called a cube? Ah. That square guy says, CM Center, I'm too tired for this kind of hypothesizing. Tough day at the office, huh? Square guy. Well, I understand. I've had days like that. It's been kind of a day for everyone here in the United States, but we'll cover that a little bit later. In the meantime, let's get to the wines. I'm going to show you the wine we're going to be drinking tonight. This is a Samuel Robert Winery wine. This is their Vineyard Reserve. It is a 2020 vintage Pinot Noir. This is a wine from Willamette Valley in Oregon. So this is a wine from Oregon, and we've had one or two wines from Oregon before, Willamette Valley, and they've actually, as I recall, I think one of them was quite good. I really enjoyed it. But we've had some wines along these lines. We've opened up a lot of Pinot Noirs, of course, and some of them have been good. Some of them have been okay. I've never had a really bad one per se, although I've had some that were not as great. But this one, we're going to find out what this one's all about, because this one was a recommendation from Total Wine in Charlotte, North Carolina, from someone at Total Wine, one of the salespeople there, and he highly recommended this wine. So, and I don't know if it was because of the price or because it was really a good wine, but we will find out. So here's the back of the wine. I'm going to read the back. The back of the wine says, "Nestled in the heart of the Willamette Valley is where you will find us. Tending our vineyards, chasing our children, and bringing you the joy of Willamette Valley wines with every sip. Making wine and building a family together since 2011, Samuel and Bryn Coelho." I think it's Coelho. Coelho. Samuel Robert Winery 2020 Vintage Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Smell and taste: violets, raspberry, and dark spice. Elegant, full-bodied, and complex. Richly structured. And he says pairing. Pairing is with conversation, quiet time, wild salmon, or filet mignon. And I don't have either of those. And we are having conversation, but I wouldn't call this quiet time. Produced and bottled by Samuel Robert Winery in Amity, Oregon, in the USA. The website is samuelrobertwinery.com, and there is 13.5% alcohol in the 750 milliliter bottle of wine. Now, a note about this one. I went to the website. No, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. Let's get right to it. To pair the wine with tonight, camera 3's up. I have a nice leftovers from dinner. We had a nice dinner tonight that my lovely wife Chi prepared. Okay, well I did grill the steak and the chicken, but she marinated it and she prepared everything else. And what a dinner it was! It was really enjoyable. And we have some. This is a New York strip steak. A New York strip. I can't say it's really a coincidence, but we thought it was appropriate to have something with New York in it tonight. This is the chicken. It's a grilled chicken. And then we have some asparagus. I love asparagus. I really love asparagus. We have some mashed potatoes, which were fabulous. I had them at dinner tonight. We have a couple of cheeses here. This is the, what was this now? This was I forgot what this is, Chi. She put it on the plate, told me what it was, and completely forgot. It's it's something. I forgot what this cheese is. Can you help me out here? Oh, and my sister Penny's in the chat. My wonderful sister Penny, and I'm not saying that flippantly because she is a wonderful sister. Penny's in the chat. She says hi, and right back at you, Penny. I'm glad you're here. Please stick around. And Penny says that glass. That glass? Which glass? I've got a glass somewhere. Okay. So anyway, the glass on the wine, on the front of the wine. I gotcha. That is the glass that I use to drink out of here every episode. I'm going to tell you which glass it is in just a few moments because, we ding it every night. I mean, we literally ding it every Saturday night. So anyway, that's what we have to pair it with. Some cheeses. Oh, Trader Joe's double cream Gouda is in here, and I forgot the name of the other cheese there. It's some cheese. Anyway, so back to the show. What we've got here is a really, really nice dinner to pair this wine with. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so let's check the chats on Twitch one more time. And oh yes, that's right. Beck says, that sounds so yummy and fruity. Oh goodness, yeah, it does. And CM Cinder says, cookie. Mom says the cheese is Murray Crock aged. Thank you, CM Cinder. I appreciate it. So this is this cheese that she's referring to. Back to camera 3. Is a Murray Crock aged cheese. And then this is the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. And yes, there is an oatmeal. That's an oatmeal. It looks like raisin, but it's not. It's chocolate chip, oatmeal chocolate chip cookie that my lovely wife Chi baked just before the show tonight. Just before this show. So looking forward to trying all this out. We'll save the cookie for dessert. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get to opening the bottle of wine, and we'll get to tasting. Seam Center says chocolate chip oatmeal. Thank you, yes. And let's get to the wine. All right. So for starters, this is the bottle, and it has a twist cap, so I don't need to use my mechanical corkscrew tonight. That's 2 weeks in a row that I haven't had to use the mechanical corkscrew that I enjoy using so much. And of course, to pour it, I have my Veneto aerator from the Veneto Wine Lover set. And it should go right in here. Oh, it's another loose. There we go. Last week, in our last episode of Drink with Rick, if you recall, the aerator did not fit in the bottle very well, and I had to hold it in place to keep it from all spilling out. Fortunately, we had no unhappy little accidents or big ones, but yeah, we've had a few in the past. All right, and here's the glass that my sister Penny, I believe, was talking about earlier. This is to hold the nectar, the fruit nectar, the grape nectar, I should say. We have my trusty Galway genuine Irish crystal glass from Ireland, given to me by my employers at buy2wayradios.com, one of whom I'm going to toast tonight because he's having a birthday coming up here shortly. Now, I'm going to pour just a little bit more. Pour a little bit more into the glass. Give it a little bit of swirl to kind of help get the aromas out a little bit. And then I tell you what, we're going to set it aside for just a couple moments on my trusty and very, very worn, used Drink with Rick coaster. We're going to set this aside for just a few moments, and while it's doing it, we're going to let it open up and breathe. Just breathe. And while it's doing that, let's learn a little bit more about this wine. So I looked it up. I'm looking around. This is what happened. I walked into Total Wine, our local Total Wine, or Total Wino as I call it, affectionately so, by the way, in Charlotte. And I was looking around for some new wines to try on the stream. And one of the proprietors there said, hey, why don't you try this one? And I said, I was just actually looking around for a couple other wines, and I had a couple in my hand, as a matter of fact. He says, oh, you would like to try this one. I recommend this one for your wine stream to review because this is a fabulous wine. Now, me, never having tried that wine before, and me being kind of gullible with salespeople anyway, sometimes, I'm not really, I'm pretty cynical when it comes to that. But, I look, this was not just a salesperson. He works in a wine shop and he sells a lot of wine. He drinks the wine. He knows the wines, right? And assuming that he does. And he seemed like a nice guy to me. So I said, well, why don't I give it a try? So I said, okay, I'll buy a bottle. How much is it? And he told me, and I said, okay, I'll buy a bottle and I'll try it. Now, I put down my 2 bottles and picked up this one. And actually, I think I did pick the other one back up. But anyway, I digress, as I often do. on this Stream of Consciousness show. And so I brought it home, and well, the rest is history. Well, it will be history once we get through this bottle. So what I'm going to do is take you on a little bit of a journey through. Well, I'm not taking you anywhere really. I'm just going through the internet and I'm searching for this wine, and I'm going to take you through a few things that I found out about this wine. The first thing I found out about it is that I can't really find out much about it. Even the Samuel, and that's what I was going to mention before, the Samuel Robert Winery. I went directly to their website, and there is a website listed here, SamuelRobertWinery.com. And I thought, well, I can get a text sheet and everything with this wine. Well, actually, no, because I went up on their website, and it looks really, really nice. You can go check it out, SamuelRobertWinery.com. Really nice looking website, and it's got a lot of really nice pictures. But the thing is, it's the landing page, the front page of their website, and there really aren't that many things to click on as far as links are concerned. Like, how do you find out about the wine? Well, it turns out from hunting around, I had to go way, way up the top and click one of those little tiny links up at the top. Actually, there was only like one at the top, and I clicked on it, and then it took me into the rest of the site where there are other little tiny links going about, well, here's about the wines, here's about the winery, here's about our history, and that kind of thing, about us and how to contact us and things like that. The thing is, though, it was very, very sparse. This site is very sparse. And the thing is about websites, you really are looking, when you're going to a website, you really want to find out more information about what they have and what they're selling. And there really isn't a whole lot of content. There's just some nice pictures, and you buy the wines, buy the case, and here are a few wines. But they don't really tell you much of anything about anything unless you sign up for the site and you buy a dozen bottles of wine, which I really wasn't up to doing, because I haven't even tried this first one yet. So that's the story about that. Why I was not impressed in the website. Okay, story short, I was not impressed with their website. So that's not I did not get a warm fuzzy from it. But I went in other places, and on Vintner had some information about it. They had a 3.8 star rating on it, and people seemed to like it okay. It was kind of mixed. Some people didn't seem to like it a lot. Some people liked it all right. When I checked it out on Wine Searcher, checked the pricing on it, it looks like the only place they have listed is Total Wine. And the prices averaged about $14.99. Now, what I paid for this bottle is what they had on their site, on the Charlotte site, and that was $15.99 for a bottle. So we'll see if it's really a $15 bottle of wine. I don't know. It's not a whole lot of information on this wine. We're hoping we're going to find out something now. Let me give it a little bit of a whiff. Cherry on the nose, and kind of smoky, a little bit smoky, a little smoky, earthy. Well, I wouldn't say really, not really smoky, more oaky, or oaky than smoky. And it does smell like some spices. There's some spices in it. Let me give it a taste. Okay. Strawberry. Some cherry, but more strawberry than cherry. And maybe a hint of raspberry in there. But I'm getting some, it is a little on the oaky side. It's a bit earthy. Not overly earthy. It's a light wine. This is not a heavy wine. And it kind of looks at wine. It's kind of rose-colored. Maybe a little bit on the ruby side. Very light ruby. The lights don't do it justice here, but it's really on a lighter ruby side. But it is very light-bodied. It doesn't really... It's not a heavy wine. It's not a really bold wine, and like the one we had the other week. It's not really super bold. There's some tannin in it, not a whole lot, but there are some tannins in it. But the tannins are rather smooth, I think. It's sweet on the tongue. That's the thing. It's sweet on the tongue. Let me try another taste of this. Yeah. Very fruity on the tongue, and it's got a little on the juicy side almost juicy, but very fruity on the tongue and sweet. Now it goes down dry, and it has a slight lingering finish. It's not a huge finish when it goes down, but there's kind of a lingering finish, and in that finish, I'm really getting a mix of strawberry cherry, and the raspberry's kind of gone away at that point, but a mix of strawberry and cherry, red fruits. I'm not really getting much in the black. I've heard other people that were getting some blackberry and things like that, and I wasn't tasting any of that in this. I know. Now what it says here, according to the back of this wine bottle, as you can see, maybe it says violets and raspberry and dark spice. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of dark spices in here, but I'm getting more strawberry, and I'm not really getting the raspberry so much. I'm not really getting that right now. However, I'm looking at the wrong camera. However, I think it needs to open up a little bit. As it opens up, this may change, and as it often does in these wines, is you get it to open up and get some oxygen, get it oxygenated and that sort of thing. The characteristics of the wine can change, and the taste can change quite a bit. So we're going to let it open up, and we're going to let it do so throughout the show. This is why I don't give it a hard review at the very beginning. That's just my first impression. And this is why I'm not one of those guys that just, takes a sip and spits it out. Because, as I've said so many times before, I don't think you can get a real fair set. No, yeah, I'm not a sommelier, all right? I'm not a wine expert, and some of these guys have trained for years and decades to train their palates to be able to discern the taste right away. But for the average person who isn't, I mean, we're not all sommeliers, and we don't. That's not how we drink wine. We drink wine, and to be honest, I think wine was meant to be sipped and drunk, not spit out. So. Sorry, my diatribe a little early tonight, aren't I? The thing is, most people, like you and me, drink wine. This is how we drink wine. And don't get me started. Okay, I'm not going down that road right now. Okay, I've done this so many times. I'm not gonna get started. Maybe later as you get down to the bottle. Anyway, so let me get back to the chats for just a minute, and then we'll pair it with some foods, and we'll have some more fun here. CM Center's talking about chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. And Penny says, yes. Oh, yeah, about the glass. Yes. Penny says, beauty, dry but sweet. It is sweet on the tongue. It's sweet on the tongue when you first take that sip, and it's on the tongue, and you've got it in your mouth, it does taste sweet. But as you swallow and as it goes down, then it becomes kind of dry. Does that make sense? It's not a sweet wine. It's not the driest wine there is, but it's a dry wine. It's somewhat on the dry side. It's not a sweet wine per se, but it tastes sweet on the tongue, is what I meant. So does that make sense? Penny says, for sure, that's not how I drink wine. Yeah, I know, you're going to get me started again on this topic. But, yeah, well, I've done my little diatribe so many times before, and look, these guys are professionals. These taste and spit guys are professional, but I'll be honest, I don't think that you can really get a fair assessment of a wine, any wine, until you get down into the bottle. And when I mean get down into the bottle, I don't mean just, drinking down the bottle, but also giving it time to open up, giving it time to breathe, as you should say. Because, once again, I've seen some people, I'm not going to mention any names, and I respect some of these people. They'll sit there and they'll open up one or two or three or four, and they'll, pour in the little glasses and take a little sips and then spit them out and say, oh yeah, well this is good, this is no good, this is whatever. And and my contention here is that you're drinking on the top of the bottle right after you've opened it. After you've opened it, poured it, and sometimes they'll put an aerator on it. On the videos, they often don't. They just pour it in there. And I'm saying that if you really want to be fair about reviewing a wine, you want to take the wine, give it time to blossom. Give it time to open up, oxygenate, get the air in there, and give it time to just breathe a little bit. And then that's, I think, where you get the flavors that they are going for and that they're talking about in these wines, especially when you're pairing it with food. So that's just my thing. And I did go down that rabbit hole, didn't I? I said I wasn't going to, and I did anyway. All right, let's get to tasting it with some food. Here's camera 3. Camera 3, I have, for starters, I've got to taste this first. This is the New York strip steak. And yes, if you haven't guessed already, the New York strip, today is 9/11, the 20th anniversary of 9/11. In honor of 9/11, a little New York strip steak. Yeah. I think that's appropriate. And it is a really good steak, by the way. She marinated it, not marionette, marinated it. Yeah, I haven't begun to drink. And I grilled it tonight. Let's see. It's good steak. Yeah, very interesting. Now, the interesting thing about the steak, when I'm having it with the steak, it brings out something else in here that the spice is a little bit more, and I can't really pick out the spice per se. I want to say maybe a little cinnamon. Tastes a little cinnamony, but also, I've got to try that again just to be sure. But I think, pretty good. Great steak. Not every day we have steak. Not even every other day. Yeah, I want to say it adds a little bit of touch of cranberry in there. Interesting. I think it's just the mix. Maybe it's I don't think it's the wine per se, because I don't taste any cranberry in the wine itself, but I think that mix, that chemical reaction with that and whatever she marinated the steak in, yeah, anyway, I'm just a puppet. The thing is, I think what it is that little chemical mix is probably what gave it that slight cranberry flavor. I think it's what it is. And my sister Penny says, yes, makes sense. I'm glad it makes sense to somebody. All right, let me clear the palate for a little bit, and we'll try it with the grilled chicken. I'm going to try it with a little bit of the grilled chicken. Penny, how are you and Tom and Ben doing? I hope everyone's doing fine. Let me go back to camera 3 because I'm having a little trouble getting this thing separated. Let me get this piece. There we go. Hope everyone's doing well your way. Oh, she marinated this chicken. I didn't really have much of that chicken. I had a little tiny taste at dinner. Not much to really, because my mouth was still full of steak and potato. And, but she really marinated. What'd you marinate? I did it again. What did you marinate the chicken with, Chief? The same thing as a steak, or was it something different? Ooh. Oh, wow, I like that. It's a nice combination right there. And almost like strawberry. I think there is a little cranberry in this. Huh. Strawberry and chicken. It was a really nice pairing. I really enjoyed that. That was very good. All right, let me clear the palate one more time. with water. And let's try it with, what should we try it with? Let's try it with some of the potatoes here. I've got the potatoes on camera 3, and let's, if I can get some of it. I'm not left-handed. That's a big hunk of potato there. Let's try it with a potato. Nothing like some potato. Ooh. That was interesting. That was very interesting. I've got to try that again with some more wine. I'll tell you what, it was a very different. I think I'm clogging up the. There we go. There we are. Pour some wine there. Let me try a little bit more of that. That camera 3. This was interesting. It kind of gave it a. These are tubulars. These are items that are grown in the ground, potatoes, like peanuts, but it tasted a little bit like a boiled peanut. Yeah, that was interesting. Tastes like a boiled peanut. If you've never had a boiled peanut, I love boiled peanuts. Some people hate them. Some people do not like boiled peanuts, won't eat them. Some people love them. I happen to like boiled peanuts. If you ever had the Cajun ones that they make up in the mountains, those are really good. Really good. Spicy. Some of them hot, spicy Cajun boiled peanuts. Those are... I feel it later in the stomach, but it's... And my sister Penny says, we are good. I was asking her how she's doing. She says, we are good. I love you guys. We love you guys right back. Excuse me. I hope Ben is doing well this year in school. Is he... I take it he's doing... He's going to be... he's in high school now, right? Yeah. He's growing up fast. Ben is. My nephew, Ben. I'm proud of Ben. I'm proud of my nephew. I'm proud of all my nieces and nephews. They're some great people, and really proud of all of them. Let's get back to Twitch for just a moment here, and let's see. Roy Turp's in the chat. Roy Turp, it's great to see you. He's in the chat on Twitch. Roy Turp says, "Hey Rick, I hope you're well. Just wanted to say hi before I'm off to bed." You're going off to bed already? You just stopped by and you're going right off to bed? Well, I'm glad you stopped by. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Hope you can stick around as long as you can. We're going to toast some birthdays and have some fun. CM Sender says, Mom says Lowry seasoning, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, and olive oil. That's what's in the chicken. That's what's in the chicken marinade. Okay, so let's pour some more wine. Let's try I have to try it with the asparagus, don't I? I haven't tried it with the asparagus yet. So let's go. I love asparagus. Asparagus tips especially. Love asparagus. My favorite. One of my favorite vegetables. And let's go back, camera 2. And this is good. Oh, I've got to get a second piece of this. Come on. Another piece of asparagus. Let's see. There we go. This is nice, tender asparagus. Very good. Oh, goes well with the asparagus. I like that. Pretty good. I do like that a lot. Now, what my wife does with asparagus is she takes it and puts some butter in it. And I don't know if she puts any other spices or anything in there, but she'll put some butter in there, or maybe some olive oil, I think. And then she'll close it up in foil, in aluminum foil, and then we put it on the grill. And we have it on the grill for, 15, 20 minutes. Let it cook on the grill in the foil, and then she takes it off, opens up the foil, and wow, it's nice and soft, and it's really, really good. Really good. So, officially, I took it off the grill tonight, but she's the one who checked it and made sure it was all cooked, and I didn't screw it all up. Anyway, but she does a fine job with that. All right, so let me clear the palate one more time. Let's try it with cheeses. All right, where are we going here? Oh, it's getting late here. All right, cheeses. Let's try it with this. That crock thing. I don't know what this is. It's whoops, I dropped it. Let me try it with this crock cheese here. And I just put it in my mouth. Try it with some more wine. Crock, I think it's called Murray's Aged Crock is what it's called. I don't know. I didn't buy it. I just ate it. It definitely tastes like an aged cheese. Murray's Aged Crock. It's okay. It's okay. Not my favorite pairing. I don't know if that would be my first choice of cheese with this wine. It's not bad. I'm clearing the palate one more time. Let's go back to camera 3 and try one more item. Let's try the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda, which we've never, ever had a miss on. And sometimes it's saved a wine or two. Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. Available at Trader Joe's everywhere, I guess. It's Trader Joe's. Nice and creamy as always. The Double Cream Gouda goes very well with this Pinot Noir, which is not a big surprise. Very nice. Very good. I like it. I think that'll do it with the pairing for now, don't you think? Let's get on to some other things. Let me check the chat one more time. And Roy Terap, how are you doing? I hope you're still with us. Or are you going off to bed right now? Let's check Facebook. And Penny says boiled peanuts. Yeah, I know you love boiled peanuts. I know you do. I grew up with my sister. We had boiled peanuts quite a bit, quite a lot. And they were always great to eat. And Ed, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing this fine evening, this fine Saturday night? Let's see. We've got some toasting to do. Let's get right to the toasting. Let me cue the fireworks and we'll get to toasting. I've got a few birthdays to toast. Fireworks cued. And then once again, if you or you know of someone who is having a birthday, how's that go on those commercials? If you or a loved one are having a birthday or an anniversary or a special occasion of any sort, please tell me and we'll all toast it together right here on Saturday Night Wine Stream. First birthday I'd like to toast is from my wonderful niece, Angela. You know, Angela, as I said before, as I told Penny, all of my nieces and my nephews are just great people, and I love them all. And Angela is one of my nieces who I'm very close to, have been since she was born. She and her sister both she and I have been very close to them both all their lives, and I think of them more like daughters. I think of Angela and Elisa more like daughters than just nieces, and they're just very sweet people. And Angela, who is just a very, very sweet person, very smart, very accomplished, and I'm very, very proud of all that she's accomplished and that she continues to accomplish. And Angela, if you're watching, I want to say a very happy birthday to you. I did not forget your birthday. No, I don't. I did not. Angela, your birthday on the 14th, I believe, right? September 14th, this coming Tuesday. I want to say happy, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And may you have many, 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 many more. And I also want to toast you again because I can. There we go. Happy birthday, Angela, to my wonderful and lovely niece, Angela and Sean. Happy, happy birthday. For Angela. Another person I like to toast real quick is... Another person I like to toast is Molly. Molly, who I met at Wine Store in Blakeney, North Carolina, a couple of years ago when I first started doing the wine stream. And I still go to Wine Store, and oftentimes I'll have to phone in my order and then go pick it up because they do curbside delivery ever since the pandemic started. But I used to, before the pandemic, I was in there on Thursday nights because they would have a wine tasting going on Thursday nights, and I still have a card there with. I've got to go out and do some tastings there when we can do that again. But I used to like to because I have a little wine bar thing going on, and it's a lot of fun. It's really cool. I met a lot of really nice people there, including the owner. The owners, Matt, who's one of the owners there at Wine Store, and they just opened. I forgot this, but I think I want to toast them here. Maybe I did toast them. I want to toast them for opening their new store in Asheville. They just opened a new store in Asheville. But this isn't about Wine Store right now. This is about Molly. Molly, I want to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my friend Molly. May you have many, 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 many more. To my friend Molly Campbell. And I've got one more birthday to toast here at the moment. And yes, I saw your happy birthday to Tommy, Penny. It's coming up the end of the month. Tommy's birthday's coming up the end of the month. And my son Tom Antio, as many of you know him on Twitch, his birthday's coming up on the 29th, so we'll be toasting him there. But happy birthday to Tommy. Thank you, Penny. And there is one more birthday I want to toast. That is for a good friend of mine. He's also my boss. For Danny. Danny is just a super nice guy. He's a really super nice guy. He's a super smart guy. He definitely knows his stuff. And it's been an honor to work for him for the last almost 12 years now. And it's been an honor, 11 years? I lost track. When did I first start there? 2010? Yeah, 11 years. 11 years, I guess. I lost track. I've been there so long. It's like family there. And that's the thing. Where I work, it's really more like family, and we've all worked together for so long, and it's just they're just great people all around. Danny, he keeps everything running over there, and he knows what he's doing. A very smart guy and a good friend. And I want to say to Danny, happy birthday, because your birthday's coming up on Friday, I believe. This coming Friday, I believe that's the 17th, right? Anyway, so here's to Danny. Happy birthday, and may you have many, 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 many more. To Danny Famser, and I'll toast you again. Happy birthday, Danny. You know, I did forget to say when Molly's birthday is. Molly's birthday is this coming Wednesday, the 15th. So happy birthday to you, Molly. Okay. I think that does it pretty much for the birthdays for the time being. My sister Penny says, happy birthday, Tommy Savoy. We'll toast him now anyway. To Tommy Antio. You know, Tommy's been doing some great stuff. He's been up at App State, as I mentioned before, Appalachian State University. He's up there now in his senior year. And he's working towards his communications degree. And with a minor in business management, and what he's doing is he's working at WASU 90.5 WASU FM, and that's what he's doing there, as well as that's part of his class, as part of his curriculum. But he's also working there, and I think he is. He's doing news. He joined the news team as well, and so he's doing newscasts there as well at WASU FM, and really doing a great job so far. Really proud of what he's doing, and he got started in podcasting. That's how it started happening. All right, so this is what we're drinking tonight. Once again, the Willamette Valley Vineyard Reserve Samuel Robert Winery 2020 Pinot. I thought when I picked this up that 2020 was a bit young for this wine, but I don't know. Not bad. I thought maybe it would be a little bit on the young side, but it's tasting about right. Tasting just about right, I think, so far. I'm going to let it open up just a little bit more, see how that goes. Anyway, so where were we? Oh, yes, National Days. let's do the national days because I think we need to do the national days. Let me check the chat one more time on Twitch. And Roy Terp says, now I'm really off to bed. Good night, all. Well, good night to you, Roy Terp, and have pleasant dreams, and hope you have a great week. and Dwayne, is Dwayne in here too? Dwayne, is Dwayne, oh, he says hi. Yeah, Dwayne's here. Dwayne is in here, and it's good to see you, Dwayne. Good to see you. How are you doing today? How are you doing this week? I haven't had enough yet. I hope you're doing well. And Nubatism's in here. He says, hi, Rick. Hi to Nubatism. These are all folks on Twitch and Twitch chat. And it's good to see you, Nubatism. Stick around. That square guy says, haha, I love when Rick gets a bit tipsy. I don't think I'm there quite yet. We'll see. It's only 13.5% alcohol by volume, folks. It really is. Nubatism says, so that square guy says, yes, you are. I'm not. I'm not going to say anything right now. Anyway, so let's do the national days. I think it's time to do national days, right? Well, I'm still in control of my faculties, more or less. September 11th. Today's September 11th, 2021. I think everybody knows where we're going with that. Nubatism says all good. That's good. You're doing fine. I'm glad to hear that. September 11th is National... Did you know this? I did not know this. September 11th is National Make Your Bed Day. September 11th is National Make Your Bed Day. Did you make your bed today? Some people don't make their... they just... you think about it for a second. Especially if you're living on your own, right? And when I was single, sometimes I usually made my bed, but sometimes I didn't, but because it was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna. I was working at Disney too in the early days. It's like I'd jump out of the bed and run off to work, and not make my bed. Well, because in like 8 or 9 hours, I'm just gonna get back into it and mess it up. So why? What's the point? And think about it. There is some logic to that. Why make your bed especially if you get up late? I would get up late at like 1 in the afternoon, go off to Disney, work at Disney, 3 o'clock, 3 to midnight shift, come home at 1 in the morning. I'm just going to get into bed. So what was the whole point of making the bed? I mean, who's going to see? Who's going to care? It's just me, right? It's just me. That's when I was single. It was just me by myself. Nobody cared. My roommates wouldn't care. I don't think they made the bed. Ed, did you make your bed? I don't remember. And I didn't go wandering in his room all the time, so I don't really know. But Ed, did you make your bed every morning? I don't know. Anyway, so. But when I got married, yeah, we made the bed. We made the bed every day. You think about it, it's like, okay, if you're in your own bedroom, how many people are going to go in your bedroom to, well, these days it's a little bit different because people are working from home and everybody's kind of stuck, a lot of people are stuck at home anyway, so what's the point of making the bed? You just get up and you're probably working if you're working, you're probably working your jammies anyway, and you're just going to go back to bed. But no, today is National Make Your Bed Day, and yes, I did make the bed this morning. I did. There's some TMI for you right there. So if you don't know anything else about Rick, he makes his bed in the morning. Because I kind of have to, because if I don't, then my wife yells at me, you didn't make the bed. So I made the bed. National Make Your Bed Day. All right. It's also National Hot Cross Bun Day. You ever made hot cross buns? Have you ever eaten a hot cross buns? National Hot Cross Bun Day. I used to know the song. Yeah, I'm not going to sing it. No, don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. National Hot Cross Bun Day. Drink to that. I'm going easy because I don't want to get tipsier, right? And that square guy says, whoa, oh, I got to scroll up here. I missed something? Yes. That square guy says, easy, already did that. It's refreshing. It helps me relax when I see a tidy room. So you did make your bed today. It is refreshing when you see the tidy. There's a lot to be said for that. You know what? What's cool about that is because like on a Saturday or something, or a Sunday, I like to go in and take an afternoon nap because there's something about the sun just streaming in through the window that just, I don't know, it's just kind of comforting. It makes you want to just lie down and take like a half hour nap or so. You know, it's kind of cool. And to be honest, if I go into the room and I see the sun shining through the window and I want to lie down for a few minutes, I'd rather lie down on a made bed, right? Or just a bed that's already made up. I don't want to have to get into a bed that's all, the covers are all, crumpled up and all over the place. I just lay on top of the blanket or the comforter or whatever it is that's on the bed at the moment, and just lay on that and sleep. And there's something soothing about that, something comfortable about it in the middle of the afternoon, don't you think? There's some more TMI for you. Okay, well, we're all sharing our sleeping habits. But the score guy says it's refreshing. It helps me relax when I see a tidy room. There is a lot to be said for that. Noobtism says, was it like working there? Working where? At Disney? It was, I've told a lot of the Disney stories. Do we have time for those tonight? Ed's in the chat, and Ed worked with me at Disney, so he knows a lot of them as well. And we've spent a lot of time working at Disney together, as a matter of fact. That square guy says, you seem like the kind of guy who would make his bed. I am. I do make my bed. CM Center says, I thought he was going to sing it. Oh, you mean the National Hot Cross Bun Day. Beck says, as a precocious youth, I do not make my bed nearly as much as I should. But we all go through those phases. We do. The square guy says, get in the habit, Bex. You'll love it. Feels good, man. And it does. Yeah, it does. Bex says, I have like 3 blankets on my bed and a quilt that I sleep on top of. Just so many blankets. There is a short, it's not a story. I do enjoy a nice soft quilt on a bed, especially in the afternoon. The bed's made up and there's this quilt on it. Just kind of lay back and relax and just chill a little bit and just take a short nap. And there's something just really nice about that. But the quilts, we have a couple of quilts. One that's very, very special quilt. And I don't think she's in the chat with us here. Let me check. Penny's in the chat. My sister Gina, as you know, who's also in the chat from time to time, she, when she and I got married, when we were going to get married, my sister Gina made a quilt, handmade a quilt for us. It was a wedding quilt, and it was white, completely white wedding quilt, and then she signed it and dated it down in the bottom, in the corner of the quilt. And for a while, we were using it for a while, and then she said, we were getting a little concerned that way. You know what? This is a very special quilt, so we don't want to use it too much because we want it to last a lifetime. So we don't use it as much as we used to. We try to take extra special care of it, kind of keep it, folded up and kind of carry it inside, because it is really more of a keepsake to us now than just a quilt. In the very beginning, it was a really nice and comfortable quilt, and we enjoyed it. But now we just treat it more as a keepsake, and it just has a lot of meaning for us. And we really, really appreciate the work that Gina put into it. It's a very special quilt for us. But it's a really comfortable quilt, by the way. Let's see. Beck said, Square Guy says he talks about Disney a lot. Noobitism, stick around, and I'm sure we'll hear some stories sometime. You may do that. You may hear some tonight. Beck says, well, the weather in Australian winter spring fluctuates so quickly, so you never know when it's going to be 3 degrees centigrade or Celsius, I'm saying. I sometimes say centigrade. Celsius degrees at night or 15 degrees Celsius. Does anybody say centigrade anymore? Celsius. I used to say centigrade all the time. It's Celsius. Celsius in Australia. Yeah, it does. I hear it does fluctuate quite a bit there. The weather does. And I can understand why you might have like 3 blankets and a quilt on your bed, because you can just kind of peel them off as if it gets hot and humid. All of a sudden, you can just kind of peel them off and just put them back on as the evening wears on and the weather changes. That's makes a lot of sense. Let's see where we. Oh yes, national days. Okay, so we have one more national day. National Day, September 11th is Patriot Day. You know, I forgot to do this. Where is it? Here it is. I forgot to do the wave. There we go. This is for the national days. Today is Patriot Day and National Day of Service and Remembrance. For those who are not in the U.S., and I'm pretty sure you probably are aware of it anyway, even though you're not in the U.S., because it was an event that was seen and experienced worldwide. And you know what I'm talking about here. Today was 9/11, is 9/11 for another 43 minutes. 9/11 on September 11th, 2001, when we had the September 11th attacks here. This was 20 years ago. This is the 20th anniversary of September 11th, and I want to make a special toast to that. It is really more of a remembrance and a tribute toast, more than that. It's not celebrating it at all. This is nothing to celebrate. This is really something to commemorate, because the September 11th attacks were really a wake-up call to this whole country. They were really a wake-up call to everybody. Up to that point, we thought that, well, I mean, you know, we're our own country. We're protected by the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans and the Gulf of Mexico, and we're kind of like in our own space, and we're just minding we're just doing our own thing, and the thought of people attacking us directly on our own soil was something that was, I wouldn't say it was inconceivable, but it was something that was not in the forefront of our minds. And when it happened, we just realized, well, you know, the moment that it happened, we realized that everything's changed. Everything's changed. We are not. We were in this kind of fantasy world, thinking that, hey, you know, we couldn't be affected by this sort of thing, and it really changed us. It changed us forever. And I remember where I was. You remember where you were on 9/11? Everybody remember where you were on 9/11? If you were not born on 9/11, then you wouldn't. It's okay. But for those of us who are around, especially those of us who are growing up, or those of us who were adults. I mean, I was married. She and I, we were married, and we had 2 very young children at the time, and so we absolutely remember where we were on 9/11 on that day. It's something you just don't forget. Now the thing is about 9/11, you know, I'm going to go to Wikipedia for some stuff here, because some of the details in terms of numbers are a little bit fuzzy, and I can't say I completely trust Wikipedia either, because they, you know, it's kind of like a group edited thing. It's you know, so stuff changes, and you don't know if you can verify everything that's on here. But because I was around at that time, so I can corroborate a lot of this information from memory, that when the 4 commercial airliners, and they were all pretty much, I think they were American Airlines flights, 2 of them hit the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers. One hit one tower, the other one hit the other tower, and then one hit the Pentagon. One crashed into the Pentagon. The third one The third one, I think, they're not 100% sure, I think, where it was headed, but they think it was headed for the White House. Not 100% sure. But what happened was they got lost and they couldn't find it or something. And then the passengers on 9/11, or maybe that was the one that, I'm trying to do this from memory. That might have been the one that hit the Pentagon. But that was Flight 77, I think, was the one that went to the west side of the Pentagon. That killed, I think there were, let me check and see if I don't remember how many passengers were on that one, but I know that killed something like 125 people or something. Anyway, in the Pentagon. Flight 93, United Airlines, now 3 were American Airlines, 1 was United Airlines, Flight 93, that's right. United Airlines Flight 93, that was the one that was that wound up in the Pennsylvania field, the field in Pennsylvania, and that was the one where the passengers revolted and tried to regain control of the plane, and that's when it crashed. And those passengers, I mean, the people on that plane were very, very brave. What they did, I think they kind of knew they were doomed anyway, but they all stepped up and they said, if we're going to go, let's go trying to protect our country, and that's what they did, and they're all heroes. Every one of them were heroes for diverting that plane, and even though they crashed into the ground. It was devastating for everybody. We lost, I think it was 2,977 people. I think, let me check in here. 2,000. Well, there were, I get a couple of different numbers on some sites, but there were 2,996 deaths total, basically. 2,977 of them were the victims, and 19 were Al-Qaeda terrorists. So there were 2,996 people total that lost their lives on that day. So it was a very, very difficult time for all of us, and I want to make a toast now to all those who lost their lives, and since, because a lot of the first responders that responded, and there were some brave people, firemen, the police, the medics, the people that responded there to the Twin Towers and everywhere else. They were also, they risked their lives, and some of them lost their lives as well. And some of them have lost their lives since then because of, what it's from cancer and from other things that happen from fallout from the buildings and things like that. Injuries, a lot of people injured. I want to say to all those, the fallen, thank you for your sacrifices, and we make this toast to you. This is for those who we lost on 9/11, 2001. They're all heroes. Every one of them. Okay, anyway, so this is what we're drinking once again. Samuel Robert Winery. The Pinot Noir, it's 2020, it's Vineyard Reserve. It's actually not a bad wine. I like it. I saw some bad reviews on it, but I'm really not sure what people are saying, because it's not a bad wine, really. There were a lot of good reviews on it, too, but I don't think the wine, I think it's decent. I'll give you my final review in just a little bit. Before I do, let me go back to the chats for just a moment. Let's check the chats again. And I hope I didn't make this too. Ed says, Benjamin Franklin could not fall asleep in a mussed-up bed. He had a second bed all made up so he could move to a new bed if he awoke during the night. Did anybody know this? Is this true? Ed says it, so it must be true. I'm serious. I'm serious. Ed is really good with trivia. But Ed, I did not know this. Benjamin Franklin could not fall asleep in a mussed-up bed. He had a second bed all made up so he could move to a new bed if he awoke during the night. Wow. I didn't know that. Now, Benjamin Franklin was one of my favorite. And you know what? Benjamin Franklin, he was kind of a wild guy. he lived a life. He did. He was I guess you could say he was kind of a party animal for the time there. But he was very prolific in a lot of things he did. I mean, he was a statesman, an inventor. He was a writer, a publisher. He was a world traveler. You know, he would go to France a lot. He served basically as, I guess, the equivalent of an ambassador. He was ambassador, basically, going back and forth to France and other European countries. He lived quite a life. He did. And I think he was a little bit of a ladies' man, too, if I'm not mistaken. But Ben Franklin, well, he got around. He did a lot. He accomplished a lot in his life. And of course, people think of the story of the invention of electricity, or not invention, but the discovery of electricity, where Ben Franklin discovered electricity. You know, the whole tying a key to the kite and flying the kite in an electrical storm and doing the electric thing. And there's a lot of romanticism involved in that. Okay, you know, he didn't just go out there and say, hey, you know, it's getting stormy out there. I'm going to fly a kite and stick a key on it and just do this willy-nilly. He kind of thought it through. He was being careful about it. That's why he didn't kill him when he... But I think Disney did an animated film a long time ago. At one point, Disney did an animated film called Ben and Me. And there was Ben Franklin, and then there was the mouse. Ed, do you remember the name of the mouse? I know Ed knows all this stuff. He does. I remember the mouse. I forgot his name, but there was the mouse that in the animated film that was basically responsible for Ben Franklin discovering electricity with the key and the kite and all that sort of thing. Very romanticized, very much Disney embellished, you know, and that's what Disney does, is they have a tendency to just embellish. I mean, they turn every thing into a Disneyized, you know, where most of it isn't even really true, and then the rest of it's made up. So, stories like Pocahontas come to mind, things like that. I mean, it was a real event, but I mean, it was this whole story that really had nothing to do with the real people in the story, to be honest. And that's what Disney does. That's their shtick. One of them. Ed, do you remember the name of the mouse? It was Ben and Me. That was the name of the cartoon. It was like a half hour. And it was a half-hour short that they showed at some point in the theaters. I've seen it a few times. It's cute. But it's nowhere close to. First of all, I don't think Ben Franklin had a mouse friend. Okay, a talking mouse. But if he did, it's not mentioned anywhere in the history books. I'll tell you that much. And if anybody saw Ben Franklin talking to a mouse, or with a talking mouse, I think they would have locked old Ben up and threw away the key. He wouldn't have had one to tie to the kite and discover electricity with. Just saying. So, Ben Franklin, yes, yeah, a true patriot. So, let's see. There's some things in the chat here. All right, let me go back here. Let's scroll up the chat a little bit. That was a Disney story, more or less. I mean, the Ben and Me thing, that was not one of my Disney stories. Beck says, oh, no, I read that already. Nubitism says, yes, from Ireland, over 2,900. Oh, you're talking about 9/11. Okay, I think. All right. Um, I'm trying to catch up with all the chats here. So, Ed, do you remember the name of the mouse? I don't remember the name of the mouse. Maybe I can look it up real quick. Why not? I got a minute or two. Let me see. Ben and me. Who is the mouse? Oh, look, it pops right up. The Astonishing Life of Benjamin Franklin, His Good Mouse Amos. Okay. So it was basically a book. It was originally a book, and Disney took the book and adapted it to make this short. And it's available on YouTube, it looks like. Looks like you can watch it on YouTube. Watch just about everything on YouTube these days, including this show, Drink with Rick, on Saturday Night Wine Stream. You can watch it on YouTube. A little plug there. So, so it was from a book. And the book, who wrote the book? Let's see. The Astonishing Life of Ben and Me. Ben and Me, The Astonishing Life of Benjamin Franklin by his good mouse Amos. So apparently Amos wrote the book, supposedly. The mouse wrote the book. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay. Where are we? I had some national days for Sunday. We'll run through those real quick. Let's see how quick we can run through them. Okay, September 12th, which is tomorrow, and of another 40, another 20, no, another 18, no, 20, I don't know. It's going to be less than an hour. Maybe I had too much, that square guy. I don't know. Maybe I have. September 12th, National Just One Human Family Day. Just one human family. We're all just one human family. I'll drink to that. I believe that. I really do believe that we are just one human family. We may be very diverse, different races, different nationalities, but we are all just one human family. One human family with a lot of infighting and a lot of issues, family issues, but we are all just one human family. September 12th is National Hug and High Five Day. Okay, Hug and High Five Day. I'll drink to that. That's a good one. National Video Games Day. Tomorrow, September 12th. No, it's almost today. National Video Games Day. National Video Games Day. I've never played a national video game. I've played... Okay, never mind that. Just forget I said that. I've played video games, yes, and I do too occasionally. In fact, I played a game today. Was playing Solitaire, actually. Solitaire for us on the Roku. Because I don't know, I was trying to put myself to sleep and have to take a little nap, and I was just listening to some podcasts and playing a little Solitaire and on the Roku, and then I don't know why I'm doing this, and it's but I'm used to having the remote in my hand. Yeah. National Video Games Day. National Chocolate Milkshake Day. National Chocolate Milkshake Day. I've made a lot of chocolate milkshakes. Ed and I have both made a lot of chocolate milkshakes when we worked at Disney. When we worked at Disney, here's your story. Who was asking you before? Nubitism? Bex? When I first started working at Disney, Ed and I worked together at the Board and Cone Shop. This was back in the late 70s. 1979, 79, 80, 81. 1979, I think, is when we were working together over there. And maybe 78. No. I think it was earlier than that. 77, I think. 77, 78 is when we were working together over the Board and Cone Shop at Disney. And this was in the Walt Disney, what at the time was called the Walt Disney World Village in Orlando, Florida. It was it was part of Walt Disney World. And this was the village. This was the shopping village there. And we worked in a complex called the Veranda Restaurant. The Veranda Restaurant made up three parts. The main part was the Veranda Restaurant itself, and then on one end you had the Borden's Cone Shop, and then the other end you had the Sara Lee Bakery. And the Borden's Cone Shop is where Ed and I worked, although we did do stints in the bakery, and later on when I became a lead, I was a lead over both the cone shop and the bakery, so I'd wind up kind of working between the two of them together for a while. The cone shop, we made ice cream cones all day. And right next to that, the Veranda Restaurant, which was kind of it was the whole one building, and it was all together. But in the restaurant, we served all of these ice cream sundaes. And Ed and I would also make sundaes every day of the week. A bad dad joke there. So we'd make all kinds of sundaes, and we'd make shakes, and we'd make sodas and all that kind of thing too. So we made a lot of chocolate milkshakes. We made cherry shakes. We made vanilla shakes, all kinds of things. We made shakes, ice cream sodas, hot fudge sundaes, banana splits. We even made this thing called a Captain's Tower, which was like 8 scoops of ice cream. It was a big, humongous thing. I think it was supposed to be for 4 people or something, but I do recall a time when I think one person had a whole one, ate one by himself. It was quite an event. This one person ate a whole Captain's Tower, and it was named after the Captain's Tower. We had a structure in the middle of the village that had a big tower, and there was an area down there where they could put on different events and things like that. And it was called the Captain's Tower, a big tall structure, and we had a dessert named after it and kind of sort of loosely shaped after it. The Captain's Tower, huge thing. I think had like 8 scoops of ice cream in it, I think, and just about every topping that we had, and 2 bananas and a load of whipped cream. I mean, this thing was covered with whipped cream and cherries all over the thing, and nuts, and it was just a big, and it was in a bowl. It was in a salad bowl. We served these salads, these Caesar salads and stuff in the restaurant, and we served this thing in one of the salad bowls, and this thing was really big. It was huge. So I'm not going anywhere with the story, to be honest. I'm just regaling my memories. Ed can tell you more. Okay, so Ed says the mouse negotiating a contract with Ben was the inspiration for the Declaration of Independence. That's right. That's true. Don't remember the mouse's name, Amos, and you're correct. And Ed, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. You win. You didn't win. You didn't win anything, but you won. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, thank you, Ed. Where was I going with this? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. But you got your story, Bex, Nubitism. You got your new Disney story. That square guy, if you wanted one, there he is. I've got them. I've got a lot of them. I've got a lot of these Disney stories, and some from the TV station, and some from a lot of other places I worked. You know, does everybody remember where you were on 9/11? I remember exactly where I was. Oh, we haven't finished national days, haven't we? September 12th. September 12th is National Chocolate Milkshake Day. I did cover that. National Day of Encouragement. We should all encourage each other. I encourage you to watch Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream every weekend, every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. There's my National Day of Encouragement. National Report Medicare Fraud Day. National Report Medicare Fraud Day. Apparently there's a lot of Medicare fraud. There's enough Medicare fraud in this country to merit a national day to report it. Now that's just sad. That's just I'm sorry. That's just okay. Whatever. National Pet Memorial Day. Second Sunday in September is National Pet Memorial Day. I'll drink to that. We love our pets. It's also National Hug Your Hound Day. Second Sunday in September is National Hug Your Hound Day. This is September 12th. This is another 29 minutes. I can't believe I got that right this time. National Pet Memorial Day and National Hug Your Hound Day. Wow. It seems like they could consolidate that a little bit. Okay. Well, there's one more day that tomorrow is. That's almost today. And September 12th is also National Grandparents' Day. Now, did you know that? Sunday after Labor Day is National Grandparents' Day. And you know what? I loved my grandparents. They were great people. The grandparents on my father's side, my Italian grandparents who emigrated to this country actually when they were young. My grandmother and my grandfather, Savoia, they came here when they were very young. And they came here from Italy, of course. But my grandparents on my mother's side were they were from Georgia, and they've been here since who knows when. They were born and raised here. But my grandparents on my mother's side, Jones, my grandmother and my grandfather Jones, great people, and they loved us very much, and we loved them back. And I really had more of a connection to them than I did to my Italian grandparents on my dad's side. My dad was kind of an aloof person. My grandfather was kind of aloof too. My grandmother was nicer, but I want to say nicer. I mean, she had more of a connection to us as kids. But she didn't really speak a lot of English, so we really didn't understand half of what she said. Well, I do remember that I did understand her clearly one time when my mom wanted to take her to McDonald's to get something to eat, and this was back in the 70s. And she goes, too far, it's too far. That part of that English I understood. Too far. She didn't want to go there because it was too far. It was down the street, and it was too far. So I'm like, okay. She's like 90-something years old. And I can understand that now. I appreciate it more now than I did back then. Back then, I was thinking, like, too far. I can walk there, But, I mean, when you're that old, going down the stairs can be too far. You know what I mean? So, I understand that. Appreciate it. I do remember her smile. My grandmother, Savoia, my grandfather didn't really say much. Mostly sat in a chair and just complained, or just in Italian. My grandmother, she was a lot nicer, and I do remember her smile. Kind of at her age, in her 90s, kind of a very not so toothy smile, but she had a really nice smile, and she seemed long-suffering. And I understand she was, but enough of that. Anyway, my grandparents. There's the National Grandparents' Day. Grandparents' Day. Penny, you remember much about our grandparents? You're still watching. If I haven't put her to sleep, if she's still watching. Remember our grandparents much? I remember them somewhat. Okay, so where were we? Okay, that does it for the national days. All right. So, just switching gears a little bit. All right, where were we? Back to the chats here a little bit. Kind of got quiet in the chats all of a sudden. I think after the 9/11 memorial toast, I got really quiet. Hope I didn't scare everybody off, but I didn't mean to go on a long diatribe, but it was just we were watching a lot of the memorial services. We were watching some of the memorial services. Okay, we were watching one of the memorial services today, and it was very touching to see the families of the fallen go up and read off the names, and it really touched me. It did, especially after 20 years. Do you remember where you were on 9/11? I remember where I was. I remember exactly where I was. I was at my store. I had just gotten to the store. At the time, I had my computer store. This was in Altamont Springs in Florida. And at the time, I had just opened up the store, and I was just sitting down for the day to do some work and work on some computers and things. And it was kind of weird because it started off like a really nice day, and no, as a matter of fact, I think when that happened, it was no, I was not in Altamont Springs. I was in Castleberry. That's where it was. I was in the Castleberry store, Winter Park, Castleberry, around that area, and I had just gotten to the store. I was working in the store, and I remember seeing it on TV. We had a little TV, a little portable TV, and I saw this on TV, and I'm like, oh man, this is awful. So what happened with us was that my wife and I had planned to take our kids to up to Pennsylvania, and around that time, about a week or so after that was when we were going to take our trip. The reason we were taking this trip was because my son Tommy was going to turn 2 on September 29th, as Penny mentioned earlier at the beginning of the show. His birthday on the 29th of September. So we were going to take both the kids up there to celebrate his birthday, visit some family, and go around and see some things, and then culminate in one of these Day Out with Thomas events. And if you're not familiar with what those are, we're talking about Thomas the Tank Engine. And my kids were both really into Thomas the Tank Engine. My son was not quite 2 yet. My daughter was 3.5, almost 4, and they were both really into Thomas. And when Tia was really young, we had bought a video, one of the Thomas the Tank Engine videos that they played over and over again. But this particular video was one where they were talking. It was a special 1-hour video where they were talking about a day out with Thomas. This was an event that was held in Pennsylvania, and they basically documented the event. It was a documentary about this thing, and both the kids watched that video incessantly. They really loved that video. And at one point, I said, hey, maybe we can go up there and do a day out with Thomas. I kind of made a promise to my kids. I said, we're watching this video. This looks like fun. Maybe we can go up there and do that and do a day out with Thomas, the tank engine. So as things went, as fate would have it, it turns out that they were having a Day Out with Thomas event up in the same place in Pennsylvania that year. And Chi and I talked about it, and we said, yeah, wouldn't it be kind of cool to take them up there and do this thing? And take a little vacation. We haven't been up there in a while. We have family up there. We can see everybody, and then just do this Day Out with Thomas. And I said, that could be a lot of fun. So we went ahead and planned it, and we really, really planned the trip. We planned it like several months ahead of time, and then we were going to go take this trip. I think it was like just a few days. We were supposed to leave a few days after 9/11. I think we were leaving on the 13th or something. So then all of a sudden, the morning of 9/11, and the towers, the Trade Center towers were hit, and the Pentagon, and then the plane crashed in the Pennsylvania field, and this was really, really a tragic event. And Chi and I were saying, well, maybe we should just cancel this trip. And we were talking about it. We thought, well, I guess we're just going to cancel this trip. We can't do this now. There's no way. And then the president got on, and he said, we were going to cancel. We were getting ready to do it. The president got on, and he said, look, we've got to appear normal. We have to continue our lives as normal. Let's not let the terrorists intimidate us. This is what they want. That's why they're called terrorists, because they want to put terror in our hearts and to make us hide and to make us fearful. So let's not do this. Let's show the world that we're not afraid, and just continue on your lives. Continue with your plans. Do what you're going to do. Act normally. Just be aware. Just be aware of what's going on, but continue to conduct your lives as normal. So after this happened, I thought about it. Chi and I were thinking about it and thought, that makes a lot of sense. So we said, okay, we'll go ahead and do this trip, this day out with Thomas trip, and we'll do that. So we did. Because we already had everything in place. So we went ahead and went on the trip. We had a van and we took it up there, and the kids were too young, so they didn't really know what was going on, to be honest. But the whole way up there, it was just listening to all the news reports and listening to everything that was going on. We were paying attention. We were keeping track of what was happening, minute by minute, pretty much. And we stayed with some friends while we were up there in Maryland, and we were watching. While we were in Maryland, we were watching a lot of the aftermath and the memorial services and things like that. So it was a pretty sober trip. It was a pretty dowering trip for us, for Chi and me. For the kids, we didn't want the kids to really. We didn't want this to affect the kids too much, so we tried to keep it upbeat for them. The thing that I remember most about that trip. Well, okay, I remember a couple things about the trip because I got hurt on that trip. That's a different story for another time. But one of the things that really stood out for me from that trip, the days following 9/11, is that they completely locked down Washington. It was like a no-fly zone around Washington D.C. They had everything was kind of locked down pretty much. There was curfew all around, and I think around the Beltway, and the thing is, to get up to Pennsylvania, that's the route we normally took. We normally took the Beltway around Washington, and we've been through Washington many, many times. I've driven through Washington many times, been in the city many times, so I'm fairly familiar with Washington. But this time it was really, really eerie because they kind of had everything locked down around the Beltway. So you kind of going up there. There were like no other cars on the road except ours. We were just passing through and we're going around. I think they had some of the Beltway blocked off, as a matter of fact. I had to take some detours. But going up there was like nobody driving around. Nobody was on the road. It was just completely. We made really good time getting up to Pennsylvania because there was nobody on the highway. I was just straight trip. Nobody up there on the highway. And I remember going up there and we got through the Beltway. I was like, this is really weird. This is just surreal because I'm used to going through Washington, and on a normal day, it's packed. I mean, it is. We've been through many a traffic jam around the Beltway and in the city of Washington, D.C. and that sort of thing. It's all the way. Once you get past Maryland, once you get up to Washington and then past that, it's just, the traffic is just horrendous. So we made excellent time going up because there was nobody else on the road, pretty much, except us and maybe a truck or two every once in a while. So we got up to Pennsylvania. We went ahead and did the Thomas trip, but it was and we had a great time. The kids had a great time. The day out with Thomas, the first time they saw a Thomas tank engine for real. That was a cool story. Do I have time for that one? No, it's getting late. I'll save that one for another time. When they actually met the real Thomas, the big full-size Thomas the Tank Engine, that was something to remember. Oh boy, that trip was worth it just for the looks on their faces. That was worth it. Anyway, so yeah, I remember where I was on 9/11. CM Center says still here. I'm glad that you're still here. Everyone else left. All right, so Edward, you remember where you were on 9/11? Okay, it's getting late, so I guess I should probably put this show to bed, right? All right. Anything else going on YouTube? Quiet, kind of quiet on YouTube. Really quiet on YouTube. We got people. I think we got some people watching on YouTube, just not not in the chat. Okay, there are a couple of things I want to cover here. The one thing, real quick, and then we're going to do the final review. Hurricane season, as you know, hurricane season is well upon us. Hurricane season doesn't end until November 30th. And we've already had a couple of hurricanes. We had a hurricane come through on I can't remember the name of the hurricane, but there's one on the west side of Mexico. We've had hurricanes come through. They're just all over the place now, these hurricanes. All right, so what I would say is suggest just be prepared. Whether it's a hurricane, especially from the aftermath of 9/11, be prepared. Just be prepared. No matter what it is, hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, tsunamis, whatever it is, just be prepared. Go to ready.gov. That's a government website, U.S. government website, ready.gov. There's a list of items to put in an emergency kit, and they recommend that you put an emergency kit together. Get an emergency kit, put it together. One of the items on the emergency kit is a weather radio, like the one I'm holding in my hand right now. Weather radio to keep you in touch with the NOAA weather stations. If you go to buy2wayradios.com, that's buy2wayradios.com. You go there and you purchase a weather radio or any kind of radio. You can get FRS, GMRS, marine radios, airband radios, business radios. If you have a business, they got some license-free radios there, MERS radios, that sort of thing. You go there and buy a weather radio or any other radio or any weather radio or any radio accessory, antennas or cables or whatever. Use the promo code WINESHOW at checkout. WINESHOW, WINESHOW. That's WINESHOW. Use it at checkout and you can save 5% off your order. A big 5% off your order at buy2wayradios.com. Buy2wayradios.com. Okay? So, and then get everything in your emergency weather kit and be prepared. Now, for full disclosure, I am the product manager for my two-way radios. I don't make any extra for this. Okay, they're not paying me. This is not a paid advertisement. It's not a paid endorsement. They just pay me for doing my regular day job. They just gave me a promo code to give to you. And straight up, that's it. I'm not being paid for this. Okay? Not making any money for it. They just gave me this promo code. I'm giving it to you as a viewer and a listener of the as a viewer and a listener of Drink with Rick. I'm going to have to cut that one out, aren't I? All right, I also do the Two-Way Radio Show, which is a podcast. That's part of my day job, by the way. I do the Two-Way Radio Show along with Danny and with Anthony. The three of us do that. And we got another coming out here shortly. And this is, I podcast part of what I do on my day job. Also do videos. I'm also a YouTuber. It's part of my day job. I just put out a video this past week on a brand new radio that we put out. You can go check it out. Go to the Buy to Wear Radio's channel on YouTube, and you can see all of those things, a lot of those videos that I've produced over the years. And that's what I do. If you want to see what I do on my day job, that's a lot of what I do on my day job, is produce videos like that. So I've been doing it for 11 years, pretty much. So, and it's great. Yeah, get paid for being a YouTuber. That's my day job. And this I do just for fun. This is just for fun. All right, so my final review. Let's check the chat one more time. Quiet in the chat. That square guy even left us. Oh, I got to show you something one more time. I showed it last week. Let me show it again in case you missed it. Where is it? It's, I lost the picture. It's somewhere here. I don't remember where I put the picture now. Lost it. Here we go. Here is a picture. Last week I made this, and I made it out of candy blocks. And did you know that after the show was over, after the show ended last week, I ate every one of them. That's sad, isn't it? That's just sad. Whoop. All right, I ate every one of them. No, actually, it should be the correct one that I should be playing is this. Because that's what I'm getting right now, crickets. All right. Play the wrong one. All right, so I'm just hitting buttons all over the place, aren't I? I'm just hitting all kinds of buttons. All right, so this is the yeah, I don't know. You maybe have too much. That square guy's right. Okay, that square guy. If you want to see me when I'm tipsy, here I am. All right, this is what we're drinking tonight. Samuel Robert Winery Vineyard Reserve 2020 vintage Pinot Noir, 13.5% alcohol by volume, the 750 milliliter bottle. And I can tell you, this is what we paired it with. It's actually not bad. This is my final review now. It's actually not too bad. It's actually a decent wine. I like it. Strawberry. I'm getting some strawberry as it's opened up more. More strawberry. A little bit cherry, but more strawberry than cherry now. Actually, it's about even, I think. Strawberry and cherry. Let's see. We've got... It went well with this New York strip. Now you understand why it was New York strip, right? New York strip. It went really well with the chicken, the grilled chicken. Went well with the potatoes. It made it taste kind of like boiled peanuts here. It went well with the asparagus and well with the cheeses. It went better with the creamy Gouda cheese than this other thing, this whatever it was. And, I haven't tried it with the cookie yet, okay? So we're going to try it with the cookie yet. It's actually a pretty good wine. $15.99. It's okay. It's okay for $15.99. I think it's all right. I picked it up at Total Wine in Charlotte. I think it's about $14.99 Total Wine in other places. And I think in your area, because I think Total Wine is pretty much across the U.S. It's a national chain. So it should be okay. I'm going to try it right now with this. This is an oatmeal cookie. Oh, before I do, Ed says, because I was asking where you were on 9/11, do you remember where you were? And Ed says, watching Northern Exposure on cable with Mom, then we changed the channel. So you were watching Northern Exposure, and they changed the channel, and you saw the 9/11 attacks, I take it. That had to be very sobering. It was very sobering to a lot of people. I tell you, people, you don't forget where you were on certain things. It's like people back in the 60s. You don't forget where you were when Kennedy was shot. When John F. Kennedy was shot, it's just something that just burns in your brain. Now, when Kennedy was shot, I was only about 5 years old. 4 or 5 years old, so I don't really remember much about it. Although I've seen, but I do remember the moon landing. That is another event that I remember. That's just indelible. It's just burned into my brain. I do remember the moon landing because I was there in front of the TV. I was one of those millions that was sitting right in front of our brand new color TV, which was kind of cool. Brand new color TV at the time in 1969. On, watching the moon landing. That was pretty awesome. That was really awesome. And I do remember this distinctly because my dad took our our Brownie 8mm movie camera, which I later commandeered from him and made a lot of my own little films with over the years. That's kind of what got me started into filmmaking. He had it on a little tripod, and he had it aimed at the TV screen. And he wanted to record this. He wanted to record this for posterity. So he aimed it at the TV screen and shot like 2.5 to 3 minutes of 8mm, standard 8mm. We didn't have Super 8 back then. 8mm film shooting the screen of our color TV, shooting the moon landing and where Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon. I have that footage here somewhere. I've got to find it. But if I can find that footage, I want to get it transferred at some point and maybe show it here again. Everybody's seen it, but it's just cool that we were there, that we lived it. It was pretty awesome. Anyway, so here's the oatmeal. What is this? I want to call it raisin, but it's not raisin. It's chocolate chip, oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. And you might think, Rick, you put some food in your mouth, it'll get you to shut up for 2 seconds. No, it won't. Oh, yeah. This goes good with an oatmeal. I bet go good with oatmeal raisin cookie too, but wow, this sure goes good with oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. But I think a lot of it has to do with the chocolate chips in it. This is good. It's a good cookie, by the way, but it's really good. So my final review is that this wine goes pretty well. I like it. It's a good Pinot. It's a pretty good Pinot. Not the best Pinot I've had. Certainly not the worst. Certainly not the worst. And I like a good Pinot Noir. Definitely a good one. So I like it. Anyway, that's my final review. I forgot to turn off that lower third, didn't I? Oh boy. All right. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight, right? We've gone. I've well overstayed my welcome. Let's see. That square guy says, "Sorry, Rick, got a sudden phone call. It's no problem. No problem. Tell him I said hi, by the way. Tell him I said hi, or don't. It's okay. It's if you don't want to admit you're watching me, it's okay. You don't." Here's to that square guy in Darcy. I toast you just because I can, and I can. I think there was something I was going to say to you earlier, but I can't remember what it was right offhand. Wow, let me think for a second. What was I was going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to ask you. Were you able to use any of those audio files I sent you? Because I sent you some. I sent you some MP3, some audio files to use on your show. I'm going to use some of them here in the future. I recorded them many years ago, and I'll tell you when I recorded them. When I was doing some, when I first started podcasting, I was doing some contract work for a company called Onforce. I was kind of poking some fun at them, good-natured fun. Right? We had our issues with the company, but when I was and I recorded a few things, and I decided, well, let me go in and do this. So I recorded them in my little audio booth in Studio B there, right over there. Well, you can't see it, but it's over there. I've shown you the inside of Studio B. You've seen that. So I recorded these little clips, and originally I was going to put them up and use them in my podcast at the time, the Force Field, and use them on my website as for effects, and I never got around to it. And since then, they just kind of sat dormant on a computer for all these years. And then I thought, this could be fun I got to incorporate this into the show somewhere. I got to put this into Drink with Rick somehow. And I keep pouring this wine, don't I? I'm not supposed to be doing that. So the thing is, though, I want to put them to good use. And your channel, that square guy, and the Square Gang, your channel, I think is a good use for that, because you max out, you make the most of all that kind of stuff, and I think you could really use it, and you've got my permission to use them. That's fine. You've got my full permission to use them. And I wish you would, because I spent some time recording those things, and I hate to just have them go to waste. And if you can, that would be great. That'd be great. You don't have to. But if you can, that looks good. That Square Guy says, I had to listen to a couple. I love them. Oh, I'm glad you do. I appreciate it. And Seam Center says he is also getting tipsy. And Square Guy says he's making me hungry too. And Nubitism says Rick is getting hungry. I'm reading these backwards in reverse order here. And the Square Guy says, yeah, I love your studio setup. It's so cool. Thank you. It's kind of a mess right now, because here's the way it works. I've got half the studio is kind of set up for this, although I use it for my day job too sometimes. But the other half of the studio is a mix of, and I can't turn around and show it to you right now, but I've got a section set up just for shooting product videos for the two-way radios for the YouTube channel at buytwowayradios.com. And then I have some of it set up for what I do on my day job. This is my office/studio, because I come in here in the morning. Yeah, I wander in here in the morning with a cup of coffee on Monday mornings and sit down and log in and do a lot of remote stuff for work. And I was going into the office about 2 days a week, but then they're saying, well, because we're having more COVID issues around town, we kind of want you to stay home for a little while. And so I said, okay, we'll just work from home for a bit, and then just come in when you have to come in. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been basically working from home again, just like I was doing last year, which is fine, because 90 to 95% of what I do for the company is online anyway, so it's not a big deal. I can do it from anywhere. And actually, some of it I kind of need to do here, because since I've set up and retooled my studio for what I do on my day job, for doing the videos and things like that, I'm actually better set up here to do videos than I am at my office at in Rock Hill. The Rock Hill office for doing videos. We do have a similar setup to some of this in Rock Hill, but I'm actually more set up more for doing it here than there, and it actually works better. So when I'm going to be shooting videos, it actually makes more sense to do it here, and it's actually better. So that's cool. The Square Guy says, I look forward to implementing them. I hope you can use them. I hope you can. I look forward to checking them out. I like to see how you implement them. It says, let's see, what am I? Did I miss something here? Nubitism says, so no winemaking lessons coming soon? Oh, wow. That's a good... It's funny you should mention that. It's funny you should say that. Okay, I've been toying with the idea. We're running late, aren't we? What the heck? It's Saturday night, right? Okay, so don't tell my wife that. She's short show again tonight, huh? Uh-huh. Okay, so I've been toying with this idea of actually making some wine at home. Because I have a friend and a neighbor who does that, and I've had some of their wines. It's very good. They're very good, by the way. So I've been toying with the idea of doing this, of making some wine at home and documenting it for the show, so that every week I can take you on an update to see what the current status is on the wines. And I was going to ask you, what do you think of that? Do you think that'd be kind of fun to watch? Maybe do like a 3 to 5 minute video every week, and just kind of do an update and just show you, tour you, see what's going on with the wines and the current state of it, and how it's being made, and how to make wine at home, and then the bottling process and all that kind of stuff, and the drinking process, of course. It all culminates to the drinking process, right? Has to. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Drink with Rick, the Saturday Night Wine Stream. So But I think that'd be a good idea. If it is, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to invest in on that note. And that Square Guy says that's such an awesome idea. I would love to see that. Drinking process is definitely the most important part. I agree. But you know what? The winemaking part, as Nubitism said, the winemaking part is also very, very important, and it really gives you an inside look at how this process works. And although winemaking at home, a lot of it is a lot different from the way they do it, in a large facility. It's also the concepts, the principles are the same that go back thousands of years. They've been making wine for thousands of years. This is probably one of the oldest drinks out there besides water. So it's been perfected over eons of time. So, it'd be kind of cool. I think, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start doing that. I think it'll be a great project. So that's cool. So the Square Guy says drinking process is definitely the most important part. CM Center says, Dad, you should be glad she left the room to take the dog out when you said that. So she took the dog out when I was saying what I was saying. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's such an awesome idea, the Square Guy says. I'm reading that again. So we'll do it. We'll do it. Let me set that up. We'll make it happen. In the meantime, I think it's time to close the stream tonight. I do want to thank everybody for being here with me. Once again, we were drinking this, and we're still drinking it. Vineyard Reserve, Samuel Robert Winery, 2020 vintage Pinot Noir. This is a Willamette Valley, Oregon wine. This is grown. The grapes are grown in Willamette Valley in Oregon. The wine's made there. It's really cool. I'll be honest. I don't think much of the website. It's pretty to look at when you first land on it, but you can't do much on it. And it really doesn't tell you that much about the wines except how to buy it. That part I don't like too much. But the website, we're not reviewing the website, we're reviewing the wine. The wine is actually pretty decent. I like it. So it's, I can recommend it. I paid $15.99. They've got it in other places for $14.99. I don't know the dollar difference, not that big of a deal, but I think it went well with everything. So except that one cheese, and I think it's really more the cheese than the wine. That was that dock cheese, the whatever that was. But it did go well with the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda, so that's good. Anyway, so I want to thank everybody for joining me here tonight. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. The Square Guy says, I've learned that committing to projects while drunk is not always a good idea. Thanks for streaming, Rick. Always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have you here, that Square Guy. And I really do appreciate you being here. Look, I want to tell everyone I do appreciate you. Once again, the show is not about me. It's about us. It's about us being together, just hanging out and just having a good time. That's really what it's about. This is why I tell you every week, and I do repeat this every week because I do care about you, and I mean that. I want to ask you that you please have a great week, but most of all, have a safe week, okay? Do not drink and drive. Drink in the comfort of your home, your hotel, your apartment building, your dwelling, whatever it is. Just don't drink and drive. If you have to go somewhere, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend, or just stay put. Don't drink and drive. It's not worth it. It's not. Don't text and drive either, because that's also really bad. Because I want you to have a great week, but most of all, I want you to have a safe week. I do. So you can all join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, and we can all get together, safe and sound, and drink with Rick. Good night.